Hello everyone and welcome to this review of Altered Carbon Episode 2, Fallen Angel. I'm continued to be impressed by the quality of this series. It just feels like it's getting better and better. I do particularly quite enjoy this slow build, slow design. I know there was a couple of fight scenes in this episode. The majority of this episode is about investigation and the continuing development of characters as Kovacs and Ortega get a lot more good development through the scenes, and we see that Kovacs, through his initial investigation of the death threats for Bancroft, and then later on his investigation of Elliot, who is the initial target, his daughter's murder, death. It's not quite clear really, but going to this nightclub, well, not a nightclub, it's some sort of strip club slash sex club. Let's just call it a brothel, for the simplest term, really. And I quite like that he was, through this episode, he has still come to terms with being brought back 250 years later, going to the museum for the the envoys, and him seeing all the stacks, who are probably people he knew, who I know that the stacks are actually damaged, so not actually alive. Though obviously, who knows, perhaps later on, perhaps they will be used to come back in some way. I wonder if they'll do that. I haven't actually read the book, so perhaps that happens in the book, so it doesn't happen. Well, we'll have to wait and see on that one. Though it was a slight surprise when we saw a little bit of Lawrence Bancroft, though then again you could say we saw a lot of him, as I was actually quite surprised to see full frontal nudity from men and women. Normally what you get is they go for one and they don't bother going for the other. So it was I was slightly surprised they did that, which is I'd say it's quite a good thing for the show, that shows are not scared to do that. And I wonder if, because it's on Netflix, like I should do that to know if there was, even something like HBO, they hadn't really shown any penises. So that's good for them. They've got, well, how they say, the balls to do it. But yeah, there was this really, really good episode. Really, I feel it's just building and building. Obviously, it's the second episode. There was this odd, wasn't sure with the blonde woman, who dropped out the sky and was picked out like a fishing boat, or rather left with a fishing boat. I wasn't sure whether that was a flashback of Ortega or Kovacs, and then she gets picked up later on in the morgue, and Ortega's taken her stack out, which was slightly confusing. That was probably the negative. I wasn't exactly sure the time frame, so I assumed it was Kovacs' flashback initially, but maybe it is. It's still unclear, really. I did like the little fight he had with Elliot, and then these attackers outside the brothel. They had some sort of weird contraption on his back, and then as it seems to give him strength. I assume it's a bit like a Bane sort of thing, which was really quite interesting. I don't know if the best scene probably is at the museum, because he's talking to a little girl about friends, and how they'll leave it because their stack's gonna get destroyed, and he's trying to go into this museum to try and refine himself or to reconnect with his past. But yeah, that was probably the best scene. We didn't actually see his sister, unlike we saw last episode, so I assume that she's not quite, or she's rather more of a guest star. The AI scene was quite interesting as well, because I know that the AI is certainly quite developed in this era, but seeing several AI, well rather self-aware AI, talking about their disdain for humans and how they all have different sort of viewpoints was quite interesting, because I suppose you often see in fiction self-aware AI, basically quite often really just hate humans, and I see Poe as the opposite one, who rather quite enjoys humans and quite likes to research them. Now, going to the final scene, we have Lauren Bancroft, who I wouldn't say seduces, but rather, I'm assuming some sort of drug or some sort of command, because she's in possession of his sleeve body thing. and then they have sex then, but then someone else is actually watching, who I assume is the person who's sent the hitman after Kovacs. I'm guessing that this person is actually the same person who killed Kovacs in his previous body, so I wonder if that's what occurs. It will be interesting to see if that does happen. So, thank you for listening, please subscribe, and see you guys next time. Goodbye.